My name is Barak Heymann from the Heymann Brothers Films, and I'm the producer of Mr. Gaga, that was just shown now as a Colorado premiere in Aspen International Film Festival. And my brother Tomer is the director of this film, and it took us many, many years to make it. And I'm super happy to be in Aspen, which is an awesome place. Well, it took many years because we followed many different kinds of artistic processes. And every time when we thought that we are about to finish, there came a new piece of art by these amazing artists that inspire us so much. And then we always ask ourselves, how can we make this film without this new piece by him?
Well, it's a bit embarrassing. We were very naive to believe that he doesn't have archive footage of himself, because this is what he told us many years. One day his mother is calling and she asked us to give her back one archive tape, and we don't know what she's talking about. And we tell her, Sophia, are you losing it? Like, are you cuckoo? Like, don't you know that Ohad doesn't have any archive? And she said, you are the cuckoo, not me, and you're stupid filmmakers, because this guy, my son Ohad, he lied to you, like he loves to do, and he has everything filmed. So maybe he doesn't want to give it to you, but he has it. And we freaked out because we knew that we must have those archive materials, because it would add such a great level for the film. So again, a few months of conversations with Ohad, and again being pain in his butt, until one Saturday evening, almost midnight, I get a phone call from my brother, and he tells me in Hebrew, it's really funny, I'll translate, תבוא דחוף עם הטנדר לבית של אוהד. Come immediately with the van, how do you say tender? Pickup truck, and to the house of Ohad. And I tell him, Tomer, no one has van, we are not in the little village anymore, we are in the big city, like people don't have big cars like this. He said, I don't care, it's emergency, come immediately. So I found the car, I went there, and I find Tomer standing in front of Ohad. Ohad is already then 60 years old, and he's a kibbutznik, so he wakes up 5 o'clock every morning. At midnight he's dead, he wants to sleep. And I find Tomer standing next to him, he's with his underwear, Ohad wants to sleep, in front of his house, and Tomer is preaching him, really like crazy man. Get rid of your past, man, get rid of your past. For the sake of the art, for the sake of your daughter, for the sake of the film, get rid of your past. And Ohad was just like, oh wow, man, it's impossible with you. So you guys just go to the basement and take everything and leave me alone, and I hope I will not regret this moment. It took us almost a year just to develop all of it. It's very old formats, and many, many editors to look at it. And 95% of it was useless, but for the 5% it was worth everything.
The film was just not good enough. We had one version 4 years ago that we saw it then on big screen, and we just didn't like it, so we cancelled it completely. We didn't use anything of it. And then in July 2015 we premiered the film as a world premiere in Jerusalem Film Festival, and people loved it very much, and there was a great review, both in Hebrew and in English. And in the night I get a message from my brother, this is not it. So he convinced me to open the film, and he changed it dramatically, which cost a lot of money and pain and anger between me and him, but that's the way it had to be, because it did make the film much better. And then we made another premiere, and again it was not really enough, and only at the end of October 2015, finally, he was satisfied with the film. And so, in order to make a film that you really, really, really love and proud of, especially with such a complicated character that is very aware and is used to be the director himself,
and a perfectionist.
And the perfectionist. So it took a long time and many, many different cuts, rough cuts.
And did he ask for veto power? Did he say, show it to me before I end?
Absolutely not. If he had a veto power, we would not make this film. So this Mr. Gaga film, for example, started was born, let's say, in some ways 26 years ago. After a while, when it became very big in Tel Aviv and it's hard to get tickets to see his performance, she calls my brother Tomer and she tells him, look, I have 2 tickets for you for free. Just come tomorrow night to the place where we perform. And this stupid, arrogant guy from the little farm in the heart of Israel telling her, no, forget about it, I don't care. And she said, are you crazy? I give you 2 tickets for free. Everybody wants tickets to this show, why don't you come? And he said, no, I don't like dance, it's for gay people, it's not for me. Years later, he came out of the closet as gay and made many films. Some of them were shown also here in Colorado. But he went finally to see this performance called Kill, and it blew his mind completely. And he describes it as a very, very multi-layer, multi-sensual kind of experience that changed his life. And he called her the day after and he asked her if he can get the ticket to see this show again, because it was so strong, and he didn't believe that something so strong in his body, in his mind, in his heart can happen just thanks to movement of people.
And did she give him another free ticket?
She gave him another free ticket, and I think he never missed any performance by Batsheva Dance Company ever since, in each cast you can imagine. And after a few years, when he became a documentary filmmaker, he started to develop this obsession to make a film about an artist that his art changed his life so deeply. That since it is such a great obsession and such a deep fantasy he has to make this film, there is no way in the world he would not make this film. It took us many years to convince Ohad Naharin, Mr. Gaga, to be filmed. He had, and still has in some ways, very strong ideology against documenting dance, because for him, and I kind of agree, I have to say, part of the magic and the power and the beauty of the art of dance is based on the fact that it is vanishing as soon as it's on stage and meet people. Because if you go tomorrow to see Batsheva Dance Company, no matter where, you and maybe 100 or 200 more people will be the only people ever that will see this specific performance, because the day after it will be different. It's dancers, it's people, they have emotions, they move differently, they think differently. He gives them different instructions from day to day, he changes between boys and girls. And when you come with your camera and you freeze the moment, and then you share it with the people, for him it's a sin. Like you are killing the moment. So it took us many years to convince him, but I think one thing which happened is that basically he realized that we are such a pain in the butt that the only way for him to get rid of us is to say, okay, let's make it.
Do you dance?
I did Gaga a few times, and I wish to do more because it's so much fun, but I am not.
I mean, I would think that taking his class and doing his dancing would help you even more with the making of the film, to feel what he's trying to do with people, right?
Yes, so first of all, my brother is the director, so it was more important that he gets all the essence of the dance. And he is not a dancer by himself, but he watched so much of Batsheva Dance Company all the years, rehearsals and performances, that I think he has the tools to understand and get into the deepness of dance.
Do you think you were as moved by his work as your brother was when you first saw his work?
Yes, first of all I was. It's amazing. It's really like what this guy is doing is quite unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because he took this form of art which is really kind of, I don't know what to say, mellow and boring and old, and made it into something very funky and sexy and energetic. This is a revolution.
But one thing that for me is always there big time, and I feel it very strong, is maybe the very humanistic message about the need and the possibility of going all the way with yourself. and with your inside truth. You have to have a big balls to do something like this. It's like, I would never have these big balls. I just want to thank Aspen International Film Festival so much, because thanks to the invitation to come to this festival, I managed to visit my brother who lives here in Denver for many years. So I'm very happy. I'm super happy and also super sad as well, because we just arrived to Aspen and we have to leave tomorrow. So it's a mixed feeling, and I hope you enjoyed the film. It took us 8 years to make it, and we wanted to kill each other so many times in the meantime, and I'm happy that we didn't do it. But I will tell you more about when we meet at the end of the screening. And thank you very much for coming here today, and I hope you love the film. Thank you.
February 1st, we released the film in New York. This is the American release of the film, and then it started going into like 25 cities at least. So I hope people will come in Aspen to see it.